Performance Max campaigns for e-commerce. That's what we're getting ready to do. I was getting ready to work on a new build for a new client, and I thought, you know what, let's make a video, show people how we do it right here at Gravity Digital. So this is gonna be a live Performance Max campaign build for e-commerce. A couple of things to keep in mind. So I'm gonna make a couple of assumptions. Number one, you already have your shopping feed connected through Google Merchant Center. And number two, you've already got conversion tracking set up. If you don't have those done, there are plenty of videos and articles on the web you can find that will walk you through exactly how to do that. The other thing I'll say is that we already have all of our assets in place. So we use a spreadsheet that you can see here, and we track, not track, but we build everything in advance. So all of our headlines, all of our descriptions, our competitor research, our keywords, and then all of our links to all of our assets. So images, videos, everything is created and ready to go before we get started. And with that said, let's jump in and do this live build. All right, when you first jump into Google Ads and select a new campaign, you're gonna be presented with a few campaign objectives. And for Performance Max, you wanna choose sales. Yeah, that's gonna get you exactly what you need. And then right here, you're asking about conversion goals. So one of the things you're going to do is remove some goals here if these happen to pop up for you. So I am not wanting to have any goals in terms of page views or leads, phone call leads. I just want purchases. We're e-com, and that's what we're focused on. And then the next thing you get is the campaign type, and we want to choose Performance Max, all that goodness that we're loving about Performance Max now. The next thing, as I mentioned before, you're going to need to choose your product feed. We've already got it configured inside a Merchant Center and connected to Google Ads, so it pops up right here for me. And then campaign name, choose whatever makes sense to you. We have our own naming conventions here at Gravity Digital, but you choose what makes sense for you. The next thing you want to do is set your budget, and there's a couple of ways you can do that. One thing that I like to do is pretty handy is if you grab a calculator. If you happen to know your monthly budget, you can take that and then divide it by 30.4. There's between 30 and 31 days, and 30.4 is the average for the entire year, and so you'll know what your daily budget is. And then in terms of bidding, what do you want to focus on? You've got a couple of options here. You've got conversions and conversion value. And I'm going to let this kind of mouse over, do a little work for us here. So conversions are the actions on your website. So this is going to be things we've defined like purchases. And then conversion value, this is the value that you associate with it. So for our e-commerce, it's going to be the amount of the sale. And so I am going to choose conversion value. What I'm not going to do yet is set a target ROAS, or a target return on ad spend. I'm going to leave that open right now to get started. I want Google to get as much data and collect as much data as it can. I will work on this in the future, setting that ROAS, and I will definitely want to refine that. But for right now, this is what I'm focused on, is just getting the most conversions that I can. And we'll move on to the next step. So this client, we're just going to target the United States. And then I'm opening up more settings to show you a few things here. Right now, I'm not changing anything here. I'm leaving all of the defaults. The one thing you may want to look at is final URL expansion. So what I'm doing by leaving this on is letting Google decide where it wants to send people on my website. So product pages, maybe I've got a blog that it's going to take people to. What Google's going to do over time is understand when it needs to show people, based on what they're searching for or videos that they're watching, and it's going to help build essentially a funnel for me. And so I'm not going to restrict this. I don't know about you, what you're trying to build. You may find a need for this. Where you want to tighten this down and not take them to certain pages. You can exclude pages and things like that. For me and this client, we're gonna leave this wide open right now. Okay, next thing is your asset group. So under a PMax campaign, anything that you group together is gonna be under an asset group. And this is going to be your audience. This is going to be all your copy. So your headlines, your long headlines, your descriptions, your business name, and then you're going to get your visual assets, things like YouTube videos, logos, your images. So however you want to name this, I'm just going to, again, we have a naming convention, kind of helps me keep an eye on things. And right now, I'm leaving this fairly wide open. This is all products. This is every product that I have. Here's the reason. We're just getting started with this, and I want to get as much conversion data as I can. I really need about 50 or 60 conversions every 30 days to really know that I'm feeding Google enough information and also have enough data to then split that out into my product categories. So once I've grown and I'm established and I know this is working for me, then I'm going to jump in and kind of take care of that, building this out into categories, building specific Performance Max campaigns for each one. But for now, I'm going to leave it just like this. I'm going to make sure that my URL is accurate, and then I'm going to get into my visual assets. So I'm going to start by uploading all of the images that I've prepared in advance. So I'm going to jump in and do that now. Now that I've got my images done, I'm going to go in and add my logos. With my logos complete, the next thing I want to do is add my videos. So a few notes about video. Video is pretty important to us here at Gravity Digital. We create these for our clients along with images that we shoot and those kinds of things. We put a lot of effort into videos. If you don't have video assets to add here, be warned, Google is going to create videos for you and they're not great. So what I would say is after you get your campaign up and Google has built those videos for you, I'd probably suggest that you go in and remove them. But the thing to note here is that you're going to add these videos from YouTube is the best place. And so upload those to your channel. If you don't want them on your channel, you can add them and add them as unlisted, and you can still get the URL and use them even if they're not live on your channel. Okay, and once I've got all of my visual creative done, now I'm going to jump into all of my copy. So this is going to include your headlines, your long headlines, your descriptions, and your business name. You're going to get 5 of each of those and then 1 company name. So make sure you maximize that. Fill out every single one of them. Same thing with the images and the videos. Maximize it. You want to use every option that they give you. So you're going to be adding 20 images, 5 videos, and then all of this copy. Don't neglect that. Make sure you put in the time to use all of the assets. All right, now that I have all of my assets together, the next thing to do is to set my call to action. So this is an odd one, but I'm going to recommend you leave this as automated. You can actually see you've got learn more, get quote, apply now, sign up, and then shop now is at the bottom. I actually, to start with, like leaving this as automated and letting Google do what it thinks is best. And then from there, the next thing is going to be your audience signals. And so this is where you kind of seed information. Google is going to expand on this rapidly, but you tell Google who it is you are looking for. And so here's what we're going to get into. We're going to create our audience signal. And the way I like to go about this is I'm going to set this as search and competitors. And now we're going to create a couple of custom segments. So the first thing that we're going to do is create a new segment, and this is going to be search terms. So this is what I suggest you do is if you've run Google Ads in the past and you've done any kind of search campaigns, you want to go in and find your best performing keywords. Somewhere around 25 keywords is what you kind of want to seed it with. And so I am getting ready to do that. I've already done my research. It's in my spreadsheet, and I'm going to paste that in now. Okay, now that I've got all of my terms in there, I'm going to go ahead and save my search terms custom segment. And there's one more that I want to add, and this is really cool. It is competitors. And so what you can do is actually tell Google, hey, these are my competitors, and it is magical. It absolutely is. So we're going to create a new segment, and we're going to call it competitors. And right here, we're going to be able to paste in all of the URLs of our competitors. Again, I've actually already done the research, and I know who is actually running ads, who is selling products that are just like mine or very closely related to mine. And it's brilliant. I'm just going to go ahead and get these URLs added here, and I'm going to be good to go. So I'm going to save that. So now I've got two segments, search terms and competitors inside of my search and competitors audience name. I wouldn't go crazy with this. So Google is rapidly going to expand this. There is more you can do if you have a good customer list and you want to connect that to Google Ads. You can certainly do that here with your data. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to kind of leave this. I want to give Google some direction, but I want to leave it open. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save there. All right, once I've got everything in place and Google has kind of done a double check here, I am ready to publish my campaign. So I'm going to click on publish. All right, and that's it. My campaign is up and running. It may take a little while for Google to approve it and for ads to start running, but that is it. That is the lay of the land. That's how we roll them out. In terms of optimization, you're really gonna wanna let this sit and marinate for a little while. It's going to be a little rough the first week or two. You might have a day where you get quite a few conversions and then a day where you don't get any, maybe you get one. Give Google time, let it do what it's doing. I'd probably say anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, you wanna let this run and really let it do what it's gonna do. You want that conversion data to start coming in before you start making any kind of changes and optimizations to it. But that's it, that's how we do it here at Gravity Digital. I hope that helps you set up your first Performance Max campaign, or maybe give you a different approach for how you're going to set them up on your own. If you say, you know what, that looks great, but I don't think I want to get into the weeds and learn how to do that, we can help you here at Gravity Digital. We have a 7-figure e-commerce process, and Google Ads, Performance Max specifically, are just a small part of it. We're handling social media ads, email. We're kind of covering the whole gamut there. So schedule a demo of our 7-figure process, and we'll show you not only how we use Google Performance Max ads, but everything else to help our clients reach 7, 8 figures and beyond.